While the current administration seeks to ban or severely limit immigration and refugee influx, GCTV wants to take a look at what immigrants contribute to American society, why so many of them come here, and what parts of their native culture are retained. Momodou Sarr, originally from the Gambia in West Africa, is a university professor, Greenfield resident, and human rights commissioner.
Almost all countries really gain from immigration, because this country, by its own founding, was a country of immigrants. And unfortunately, the politics has changed around who can come to this country here. And I am almost positive that those who have been denied coming to this country here would have given a lot to this country. That's how immigrants are. When they move, when they come to a new place, they want to stand out. And unfortunately, American universities are going to be probably the biggest losers, because most of the graduate labs in this country are manned by foreign students. Most or some of the businesses started here that have been very, very successful have been started by immigrants. I don't know how long this is going to last, but I don't think it's sustainable, because I think universities are going to start making some noise about lack of personnel to continue their R&D in those labs on most universities. Graduate school is a very funny business. People sometimes go to graduate school because there is no income forgone when you go from a bachelor's degree to a master's to a PhD. You didn't work, you didn't have a job, so you're not losing anything here. So you carry on until you get to the highest level, and then you make a lot of money and you pay those taxes back to the government. That's how you sustain the economy.
Momodou also shared his story of how he came to live in the U.S., attain degrees, and become an indispensable member of this community. Now he has gone full circle by bringing students from this region back home to the Gambia, where they are taught by an English-speaking American-taught professor who has the first-hand knowledge of African culture.
I am from the small country of the Gambia, West Africa. I have a family, or a large family of 8. I did all my elementary and secondary schooling in the Gambia, then went to a teacher's college and became a teacher. And while I was at the college training to become a teacher, we ran into some problems there. I was part of a demonstration against our neighboring country, Senegal. So during that process, I was arrested, put in jail, and I was in jail for 3 months without any charges. And when we finally got to court, we were all given probation, 5 years. And the condition was that you cannot be seen in a crowd more than 2 people. You will be rearrested, and then you will have to serve your sentence. Fortunately for me, I had worked with the Peace Corps as a volunteer, and some of my Peace Corps friends, told me to apply to schools in the United States. And because most of my close friends were from Stanford, I applied to schools in California, and I got accepted at the University of California just in time. And I left the country immediately following that. The process was very easy. Once you get the visa, you're able to come here. And most of the time, for us who come here, we don't end at a bachelor's degree if you could, unless you wanted to go back home. It's usually easy to get into graduate school once you finish your bachelor's degree and get into work study programs doing your graduate work, and that's how I kind of did mine. And then of course, once you get married, it's like, this is your home now. I had planned to go home, but I never did, because I was still afraid to go home. And it took about, 30 years before I could go home for the first time. And then I was very quiet in the country for 2 weeks, and then I escaped. I left immediately. Then I started the African exchange program at Amherst High School, and still continue to do that. I have been back 3 times now with a group of students, exchange students, back and forth. So we are expecting our second group of exchange students in 2 weeks, coming from Senegal and the Gambia. It happened that I actually met Alex Haley, because Alex Haley's ancestry place is where I was doing my student teaching when I was in college, Jufure. So one weekend I was going home on a Friday and he was going to Jufure, and we were on the same ferry, crossing the river. It's a historic place. The 7th generation of Alex Haley's ancestry is still there, and our students met her. She's the last one of that generation, and she's still there. So every time we go back with our students, we take them there. What people who immigrate to America bring with them is the zeal, to work, not just to succeed, but to be an integral part of the community they lived in. And that's how I have always felt, that I'm part of the community, and so I should give back to the community. And the community gives to me also, because I was able to raise my daughter here as a single parent, and I got a tremendous community support from some of our classmates' parents who were very helpful. It wasn't easy for me. I raised my kids as if they were in the Gambia. I'm not doing that American stuff. This is going to be a West African Gambian household, and that's how it's going to be. No baggy pants here, no fancy stuff there here. You're going to wake up and you're going to be respectful. You're going to say good morning every day when you wake up. You don't just walk around the house like nobody's there. So I raised my kids as if they were in the Gambia. That's what we do. You wake up, you say good morning to mom and dad. You do your chores. You don't talk back. All that stuff that you hear about being a teenager was not part of my household. Your room has to be clean. You cannot be working over your clothes or your things that you cannot find it. No, I'm not doing that. But that's how my kids grew up, and that's so fortunately, I think I raised them very well.